senses. So let us now proceed with great freedom. Tonight, today is Thursday, right?
Yes.
Thursday night for us, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday were completely open because I am alone in the my daughter's place. They've gone camping, and this is an ideal opportunity for us to go 10,000 miles per hour.
Jai. Bhanu Prabhu, is the sound clear?
Yeah, Prabhu.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Jai, Hare Krishna.
Bhanu, it's good to see you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Bhanu, have you given any thought about the Upadeshamrita 5th verse to ask somebody, if you haven't been, maybe you haven't been to the ISKCON temple, but to ask somebody at the ISKCON temple, just be humble and say, Prabhu, this is a very difficult verse for me to understand. Can you explain it to me, please? Just make him the guru. Say, explain this verse and see what he comes up with. No matter who it is, it's going to blow them out of the water. And if they say, where is this, some Mayavadi thing you brought in? Is this some bogus thing? Oh, no, it is Rupa Goswami, who is none other than Rupa Manjari in the spiritual world. And it is Prabhupada's translation. And he created this book. Therefore, he wants us to understand it. Otherwise, why did he publish it? So please, Prabhu, if you can, explain this shloka of the 5th verse, explain it, because it seems hard for me to understand. You don't have to say, just exactly like that will do the trick. And be humble and just say, I look at you as my teacher to teach me about this verse. And let him read it and let him explain it. And it will be very difficult for him, no matter who it is. How can they do it? Even the guru, local guru, how it will be difficult. How will the guru explain away that he is not an Uttamadhikari? He could say, oh, my disciples think that I'm an Uttamadhikari. Well, fine. My friends think I'm a peacock and maybe even a dinosaur, but that doesn't make me one, just because they say so. What is the qualification of this Uttama Adhikari? And see what they say. So anyhow, this is your homework, okay? you don't have
Bhanu Prabhu's getting trained up to be a stalwart preacher of Krishna consciousness. No fear, Bhanu Prabhu. You have to go in the fire.
It looks like that.
There's a verse in the Bhagavad Gita, as the moths rush into the fire, so we'll make Bhanu rush in the fire.
Oh.
And he's going to come out victorious.
Yeah.
Right,
walking on fire.
You know that verse, right? As moths dash into the fire, right?
Yeah.
So there's a fire here, and the devotee should be more powerful than this fire, because fire is material.
Yes.
And Prabhupada's message is transcendental. So either way, you win. Fire, no fire.
And we are transcendental.
Yes, and we are transcendental.
Purely so. That's our nature. And what we're doing is opening our eyelids, our third eyelid also. We're opening our eyes to be able to see the obvious truth that's been sitting there all the time.
And what's the motive behind asking them about the 5th verse of a nectar of instruction?
I'm sorry?
What is the motive of asking the ISKCON temple devotees or the managers or the gurus or the senior devotees, why are you asking them about this nectar of instruction, verse 5?
Why?
Yes.
Bhanu, you're familiar, right, with that shloka. And Dr. Ronald Singh has reiterated it so many times. So it is because they will not be able to answer. They can't.
Yeah.
Even one of the ISKCON gurus accused me of being a ritvik for even bringing up the topic and saying, distinguishing between Kanista Madhyav and Uttamadhikari in our society will simply cause conflict, because everyone will look at him. Is he an Uttamadhikari? Is he a Madhyav? Much of it, is he a Kanista? How come he's still a Kanista? He's been here for 3 weeks, like that. He was suggesting that means that he has no inkling himself as to those distinctions, because nobody in ISKCON is an Uttamadhikari. Therefore, we cannot create envy around that topic. And nobody really is a Madhyamadhikari. I won't say there aren't any Madhyamadhikaris, but if there were, we'd know about them. And mostly people are Kanista or less than Kanista Adhikari. That means beginning, neophyte. So anyone who takes initiation from Prabhupada or even from a bogus guru, a non-realized guru, I should say, he will, I don't want to use the word bogus guru. If a guru, someone can tell me something I don't understand, then he's not a bogus guru, he's real. But that doesn't mean that real guru telling me something I don't know is going to then be worthy of giving diksha to anyone. Because everyone should be guru. Even after 2 minutes in the temple, a young man can be saying, chant Hare Krishna and your life will be sublime. Then somebody else walks in the temple door and all he knows is that. So he says to the person walking the door, chant Hare Krishna and your life will be sublime. And what does that mean? It means that he has become guru. How much guru? Tiny bit. Tiny guru. But genuine, bona fide, tiny guru. You see? Telling the truth makes you guru. How much guru? How much truth can you tell? If a person tells one truth and puts a whole bunch of malarkey around it in order to get money and followers, that's not a guru. That is a despicable person trying to exploit Krishna, who is the source of everything that everybody wants. So why do we want to exploit Krishna when we can have everything that Krishna offers us for free? Not only we get it for free from the pure devotee, like the transparent medium, by a medium, such as Srila Prabhupada or Bhaktivinoda Thakur or Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati or that caliber. And because we can get that all for free, we can afford easily to give it away for free. We don't have to make a deal. We don't have to say, I will enlighten you, but you first must become my disciple. And how much money do you have in the bank? That would be just perfect for your Guru Dakshin. No, we don't have to do that. We say, I've received for free from Srila Prabhupada, and I will give to you for free from me. Why should I take anything from you? And the guy says, but I want to give something. Well, give for Prabhupada, give for opening a new center, give for whatever you want to give. But I'm not going to take a payment for what I told you, even though it's can't be encountered anywhere else in the world. What I'm telling you is unique. No one can tell anyone about Krishna. Unfortunately, if you go to an ISKCON temple, they will talk about Krishna. You get that distinction.
Yes.
If they talk about Krishna, that is very much different than delivering Krishna. If a person knows what is Krishna and you can answer nicely, that's a gift. If you talk about Krishna, it means that you want that person to be interested in you, not in Krishna. Because when you talk about someone, you're leaving them out of the picture.
So how can we make the distinction if the guru is actually, talking about Krishna, or he's talking about himself being a guru? It's a very subtle, fine line.
Well, it can seem subtle, but the actual fact is, if the guru is genuine,
right,
he will say, whatever he says, he will make it so clear that no one would think that he's trying to make some money on it. He'll become, or he's not trying to get followers.
Ah, this is the criteria to get
Yes,
some followers.
yeah. Lord Chaitanya said that. Nor do I want any number of followers of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he's Radha and Krishna. In the spiritual world, everyone is the follower of Radha and Krishna. Everyone. Otherwise, there would be no spiritual sky. There would
Right.
be no Krishna Loka. But he's taking the voice of the devotee, not of God. He is God. He's Krishna, Radharani. He is Radha and Krishna. They are the supreme couple. They are the supreme personality of Godhead personified, manifest, and without any second. No one is equal or approaching who they are. But he's taking the other view, how to become a humble devotee. I am going to be humble devotee, meaning that I do not want any followers of mine. All I want is your causeless and devotional mercy, birth after birth after birth. If a person approaches Krishna like that, Krishna will not hesitate to give you everything. Not material things. He will not hesitate to give you self-realization. When you're self-realized, then you will know how much you need. And in the Gita, it tells you how much you need. Nirmama, nirmama. Nothing is mine. I don't need anything. Once I've heard about Krishna, I don't need anything. Well, how will I live? You will live by depending on Krishna, not by working hard like a donkey. No.
Die.
Makes sense?
Right.
You'll depend on Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in your service to him without thinking,
Wow.
oh, it's dinner time. What did I have in the fridge to make for myself? No. Krishna will not. The point about Krishna is if you worship him unalloyed love, he will not let your material body starve. End of story. Krishna will not let you starve. Why? Because he doesn't want to let you starve. And you may say, well, what power does he have to keep me from starving? Excuse me, he's God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course he can keep you from starving. Now, sometimes Krishna may put you through austerity, as he put the Pandavas through austerity. And that is simply to increase their bhakti, increase their love for him. Because one time Queen Kunti saw Krishna appeared before her. She said, oh, my dear Lord Krishna, I pray that you may put us into dangerous circumstances again and again, because you always rescue us. And then, for that reason, because you rescue us from these dangerous situations put up by others, we will get to see your transcendental smiling face again and again. He said, put me into difficulty again and again so that I can see your smiling countenance again and again. Queen Kunti, the great mother of the Pandavas. Kunti, the mother of the Pandavas.
Die.
So that is the nature of the devotee. He can give up, but you don't give up artificially. You don't say, okay, I'm a bank president and making, $2 million a year. I'm not going to renounce all of that and become a beggar in the street. Well, maybe you don't know what to do when you're a beggar in the street. How do you go about begging? Is that a way that it will please Krishna? That's not the point to give up your big job. But as you advance, you'll see ways of either renouncing your wealth or utilizing your wealth to serve Krishna. I mean, wealth is an asset. So if you have millions of dollars, you can use it to serve Krishna.
Right.
Or if you have nothing, you can use that nothing as a basis for serving Krishna. That's how it works. That's how he works. And that's how we work when we become his eternal servants.
My realization has been that regarding material things, I never had it. I'm hearing my voice again. I don't know why.
Anyways, I'm saying that regarding my material needs, I haven't had any need. Once I became somewhat of a devotee, everything kind of went in line. Actually, Krishna fine-tuned everything. That's my realization. And
this is Banu talking?
Yes, it's Banu.
That's wonderful. Yes, that's exactly what I was talking about.
It's you talking. How can you say it's me?
No, I was joking.
God.
Yeah. So even though you were, are from a family,
Ronald talking.
Your family are not beggars or poor, and you're living in a house. That's all very nice, but you don't have to develop that, but simply accept that as Krishna's mercy. Let me serve Krishna, and he will lead me where he wants me to go.
Right.
So you may go into a bigger house, or you may go into the street and live under a tree. That is not our decision. Our decision is to serve Krishna.
Right.
So
I have a question, Prabhu.
Banu, I am so happy that my hair, what's left of it, is standing on end because of the fact that what you just said is the perfection.
No, I didn't say that. It was Ronald speaking.
What?
It was Ronald.
Oh, that was Ron?
Yeah. He was taking my name, though, he said.
I thought you said it. So, Banu, what did you say?
I didn't say anything. I'm about to say right now.
I'm sorry? Well,
I didn't say anything.
Whatever Dr. Ron said, it's the same thing.
So can I ask a question, Prabhu?
It doesn't matter if you're in his body or you're in your own body, or if you're in a dog body, a plant body, a cat body, a demigod body. It doesn't matter what body you're in. The mood has to be there.
The mood, okay. Right.
I'm sorry, Dr. Ron, I didn't give you the credit. And I'm sorry,
it's okay.
Anu, I attributed the credit, but I think that you are also in that same mood. So maybe I didn't attribute it falsely, but have simply said it instead of you.
Banu Prabhu has a question. Go ahead, Prabhu. Slowly,
so
Banu
if he
Prabhu.
asks Krishna for material desires, does he fulfill it, or does he look for our Shreya and make us rise to a spiritual benefit?
Oh,
or does he make us only ask us the spiritual advances spiritually? Get us to ask for spirituality, make a desires higher.
We would like to separate like that, because we keep our bodies and we start thinking of serving Krishna. But let me just ask you, do you ever want something and you want, like, where are my car keys, or where's my shirt? Like you're wearing a yellowish shirt. Did you have to find it somewhere this morning or whenever? Did you look for your shirt, or you slept in it?
Yeah, those things, yeah.
Yeah,
some things.
You put it on fresh this morning, probably, right? Or you slept in it? No.
I slept in it.
You did? Okay, well, then at some point you put it on fresh. Maybe you slept on it now, but someday, a day, 2 days, a week, 3 weeks ago, you put it on fresh and you're still wearing it. Didn't you want to know where it was? That's Krishna showing you where it is. We have to remember that Paramatma is Krishna, right?
Yes.
We're thinking Krishna is blue and he has a flute, and Paramatma has 4 arms. But the actual fact is, Krishna is Krishna, 4 arms or 2 arms. There's no difference. So Krishna as Paramatma is off. I got off in your shirt, which was a waste of time for me, for you too. But what we consider is, just think, how many times a day do you want to know something material? And how many times a day is it shown to you? Do you see? Everyone, everyone, Ronald, you, we all want things. Like if I have a car, I want gasoline for it. I want water for the radiator. Everything I want. How do I get that? Paramatma shows me how to get it. Of course,
Right.
I have to have the karma. Supposing I want a tank of gas, but I only have enough money for a cup full of gas, and I don't have no way to get other money, so I don't get my tank of gas. Why? I may desire it, but I don't have the karma for it. Karma means I would have enough money to buy 2 tanks of gas, and I just buy one because that's all my car will hold. It's 1 tank of gas. You see what I mean? So it's a question that we're always asking Krishna. So then you're distinguishing asking Krishna for spiritual life. Well, yes, but we should understand that it's the same Krishna. And that when we give up asking Krishna for material things for our bodies and body in this lifetime, when we stop asking Krishna for those things and simply ask, please, my dear Lord, make me your eternal servant, birth after birth, and move into that mood, into that feeling, that embrace
Mm.
of Krishna, being embraced by Krishna. When you come into that mentality, then your material needs will still be supplied by Paramatma, of course. Who else will supply them? Except you don't have to ask and you don't have to desire. And your needs will become simplified and purified and much tastier. Why? Because Krishna likes things that taste good. So if you surrender to Krishna, he will start giving you everything that you need. This is what Bhakta Ran was saying, how he doesn't have to think about getting things. He just does. He just does. He wakes up in the morning and does what he must do, and everything sort of flows into his pattern of life automatically. So when we do that, that's getting closer and closer to being perpetually guided from within by Krishna in the form of Paramatma, and by worshiping on the outside, blue, threefold bending form, blue flute playing, that we are worshiping externally. We're worshiping with our heart, but we're not trying to get the blue form of Krishna to give me a new car.
Yes.
We're not trying to get anything from Blue Krishna. We're just offering to Blue Krishna. And then as we advance, we're not going to ask Paramatma for anything either. Do you know why we don't need to ask Banu? Why do you have an idea why we do not need to ask Paramatma for anything? Why don't we need to ask him? We're used to it.
Because he already knows it.
Yes, he already knows it. Exactly, perfect. Right, nail, hit right the nail right on the head. Yes, he already knows it. Why? Because you're part and parcel of him. We're part and parcel of Krishna. That means we're also part and parcel of Lord Paramatma. If I'm part and parcel of Lord Paramatma, how could he not know what I need or want? But if I want something iffy, if I want something wrong, the difference is if we ask Paramatma for that wrong thing, a bottle of booze or a slice of meat, if we ask him for that, he may advise us not to, but if we really want, he will give it to us. And we have to then suffer the karmic reaction for what we asked for. Just because Paramatma gives us something doesn't make it pure.
Right.
He gives us what we want, and if we're not pure, what we're asking for, I will guarantee you, it will not be pure.
So it's not Krishna who is fulfilling desires, it's only Paramatma.
No, Krishna is doing it in the Paramatma form.
Krishna doesn't need to fulfill desires because he's in Krishna Loka. He's playing with gopis. Like that say, Prabhupada said, who am I to associate with Krishna? Let him play with gopis and let me stay here and serve him. So Krishna doesn't need...
Krishna is And who's there in the temples? If Krishna is not, then they're in Goloka. Who's there in the temples? Krishna, Radha Krishna temples, ISKCON
Yes.
temples.
Yeah, so we have Radha Krishna, we're worshiping, we're giving to Radha Krishna. We're not taking. You may say, well, we offer food to Radha Krishna, then we take the prasadam. But consider, what is prasadam? It's just a byproduct of offering. The main duty is not, the main goal of life is to offer something nice as you can get your hands on or make or cook. Offer that to Krishna. And then as a prasadam, that's just a byproduct, the residue of the offering.
But there is Krishna in the temple, no?
It's not the purpose of offering to get prasadam.
Krishna is there in the temple, I'm saying.
I'm sorry, you said?
Krishna is there in the temple.
Yes. Of course. Of course, in our Krishna temples, in this sampradaya, the deity of Krishna, Radha Krishna, is really Lakshmi Narayan, because we are worshiping them with awe and reverence. We have to, because we cannot worship them otherwise. If you were in Krishna Loka, you would not be worshiping Krishna in awe and reverence. You'll be worshiping him, helping build that structure of devotional moods, that jigsaw puzzle, or that Rubik's Cube, or that Lego blocks, put together, algorithms, put together to take you to Krishna's lotus feet in spontaneous love of God. But
isn't Shantaras in Shantaras in awe and reverence?
I'm sorry?
Isn't Santaraj in awe and reverence?
Shantaraj, yes. Awe and reverence. So
Shanta,
that's how we were worshiping
Sakya,
Krishna. We're not worshiping them.
Shanta, Dasya, and Sakya. Shanta is the fifth ras, lowest one in the Golok Vrindavan.
And Dasya means you're offering to Krishna. Dasya means to offer service, right? Das, your servant.
Servant.
And the highest one,
Madhurya.
you said?
Madhurya ras.
Say again.
Madhurya ras.
Madhurya Ras.
Yeah. Okay, well, yes. Now, Madhurya Das, Ras, Madhurya Ras refers to Radha, Krishna, and the gopis. Madhurya Leela. So the Madhurya Ras is only for those who are in the spiritual sky, or like Prabhupada, who are in the spiritual sky in Madhurya Ras, but walking around amongst you and me. To give us access to Krishna Loka.
Well, this brings up the question to Nectar of Instruction, verse 5 again.
Nectar of Instruction meaning?
Verse 5, what you just said about situated in the rasa perfectly, in Madhurya Ras.
Only the Uttamadakari is in a ras. Everyone else is rendering service in degrees of incrementally advanced purity. The Kanishta Adhikari is pretty busy with eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. He's doing that while going to the temple, while worshiping, while realizing Aham Brahmasmi, I am spirit soul. If you want to know what the Kanishta Adhikari is like, go to an ISKCON temple. They're all wandering around, living in their bodies, trying to perfect their bodies. They are even thinking about their body in such a way that they're not thinking of leaving their bodies and going back to Krishna Loka. They're thinking about bringing their body with them. That's how attached they are to their bodies in the Kanishta Adhikari platform. However,
Sant Tukaram went with his body into the spiritual world.
You said?
The same body, Sant Tukaram.
Yeah, well, they like to think. I mean, they're not going to go to Krishna Loka in their same body. This is not possible. But they are acting as though they are. They're trying to make their body super comfortable in Krishna consciousness. But why? We should make our body super uncomfortable in Krishna consciousness. we should go out in the rain and the storm and preach to the trees if there's no one else to listen. We have to consider that every jiva deserves a chance to become Krishna conscious. Every jiva, not just good ones or bad ones or anything like that. Every jiva deserves to become, and who's a jiva? Germs, maggots.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Prabhu, Banu Prabhu is saying that Tukaram went back to Godhead with his body. Very few people have gone back like that.
Tukaram says you can go back to Godhead in your body?
No, he doesn't say that, but he went back. Just like Dhruva. Dhruva went back with his body.
Well, who are we talking Tukaram? Tukaram Das?
Yeah.
Our godbrother?
So we're
No.
not talking about not from ISKCON. I'm talking about the devotee Tukaram from Maharashtra.
From where?
He's initiated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his dream.
Well, it depends on who he was in his previous life.
He's talking about a special instance that has occurred, that some people have went back to
right.
Godhead in their own body, this material body, but they don't have a material body. They have a spiritual body. How can a material body go back to Godhead?
But I think we have to look at that very carefully, because Rupa Goswami
Another
came
is
as
Namdev went back also like that.
he came as a Muslim, manager for a Nawab. He came as a Muslim in a man's body eating meat.
Yeah.
He didn't go back in his Muslim Rupa Goswami body. He went back and became who he is in the spiritual sky, Rupa Manjari. Does it make sense?
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's such a stalwart devotee coming down in a so-called in a female in the spiritual world, coming down in a male body, and then him going back to Godhead, to his original position.
Yeah, not in the Rupa Goswami body. So whoever it was with the Tukaram, now there's a devotee in ISKCON, president of Laguna Beach, named Tukaram, but I know nothing about Tukaram. But if he went back in his body, it must have been his original spiritual form, because his body has to be in relationship with Krishna in the spiritual sky, in Krishna Loka. If it's not in relationship to Krishna, then he's rightly situated in the material world. He doesn't need to have a spiritual body, but he also can't go back to Godhead like that. Now, if you look at Prabhupada, what about Prabhupada's body? Well, which body? If you look at Prabhupada's subtle body, it's a spiritual body. So Prabhupada can go back to Godhead in his spiritual body, or he can be here in his birth body, transcendentalized birth body from Bengal.
Jai.
But it's not that he takes his material eyes, or the birth body from being born from his mother on planet Earth, on the Chitpur Street area of Calcutta. It's not that he goes back in that form back to Godhead. Otherwise, there'd be a lot of examples of that, right? Why one? Why just one?
Right.
Why not hundreds of millions or even gazillions? And if these gazillions are there, all in what appeared to be their material bodies on Earth, then how can pastimes be conducted there? The pastimes have to be conducted in the form of the relationship to Krishna. This is the secret of the Uttamadhikari. When you come to the perfectional level to become actual Uttamadhikari, it's because you're making offerings through the curtain of Maya, which is opaque, you can't see through it. You're offering the offerings to Krishna unbeknownst to you, or maybe semi-beknownst, you sort of feel it, maybe so, not visually or apparent, but maybe feeling apparent. Krishna is accepting your offering. If you say, I want to offer you sweet rice, Krishna will take it and taste it because you offered it to him. But your mood of offering, mood of preparation, Everything must be perfect. You can't,
Right.
there's nothing room for even the slightest flaw. So when you are making that offering, at some point, Krishna is so satisfied that he, not you, can no longer tolerate the curtain of Maya between him and you. When that occurs, and you've reached your 100% rasa with Krishna, the curtain of Maya, Prabhupada said like this, curtain of Maya, how much ago? Curtain of Maya rolls up, and you come under the protection of Yoga Maya, and Yoga Maya is not like Mahamaya. Mahamaya is darkness. The Yoga Maya is no darkness at all, but the purpose of Yoga Maya is to keep you from getting mixed up and confused, because everyone in Krishna Loka has a unique relationship, personal relationship with Krishna. Each cowherd boy has a unique relationship with Krishna, even though they're all cowherd boys. But it's not like a group experience, it's individuals relating to Krishna. So that's under Yogamaya. Each cowherd boy is not particularly aware that the other cowherd boys are just as much part and parcel of Krishna as he is. They just think, here's Krishna's childhood friends. And I am here too. And I am also a childhood friend of Krishna. I don't think scientifically, and I don't think philosophically, what is all of this about? No, I just play in the field with Vrindavan, with Krishna. And why not? He's fun to play with. And he thinks you're fun to play with. So you and him have so much fun together. Why do you have to worry about who's God, who's servant, who's Shiva, who's the Mahapur, the Supreme Being? How do we need to bother with that when we're having fun? So that's Krishna Loka. So to become the Uttamadhikari is when Krishna becomes intolerant of separation from you. And why? Because you don't have any downside. You don't have any bad part. You're 100%, every feeling, every ounce of your own energy is being given to Krishna, not as a gift, like on a plate or on a suit of clothes, no, but as a contribution to his feelings. Your feelings become a transcendental incursion, a transcendental collaboration, a transcendental sharing of your feelings matching his feelings. I couldn't say it. I can't say it. It's too hard to say for me right now. But it is combined. It is, what can we say? It is co-voluntary. It isn't there. There's a word for that. What is it? It is consensual, right? Krishna wants what you are offering, and you want to offer to Krishna in your mood with him, and not just offer to Krishna, but receive from Krishna as well. Back and forth, reciprocal exchanges, loving exchanges. That's Krishna consciousness. Reciprocal loving exchanges with Krishna. When that is perfected, Krishna will not tolerate that curtain of Maya that is dark and he can see you, but keeps you from seeing him. The curtain of Maya rolls up. You come under the protection of Yoga Maya, and you can see Krishna face to face. Those are the exact words told to me by Srila Prabhupada privately. I think in Mumbai. We were in a room and he started telling me this. And he went through until he came to the Uttama Adhikari platform. Then I read from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I read other quotes from Srila Prabhupada, and I more or less added them into what he said. But it's the same. I mean, I didn't add or subtract. I just simply added more jewels into the crown so that it had more jewels in it. A beautiful crown, but I could add a few jewels and it makes it even more beautiful. So that's what I did. And that's where it came when Prabhupada gave a lecture saying, Kanista Adhikari, people think it is such a low thing, Kanista Adhikari. Said, but even the exalted Brahmin cannot become Kanista Adhikari. The Brahmin, the Vedic culture, that whole Vedic culture was materialistic, using Dharma and Krishna consciousness, as it were, the core, to produce the outcome of a better birth for you next time. Where? In Krishna Loka? No. Your better birth will be maybe on a heavenly planet. Or you'll get into such a place on earth that you have built up your karma so nicely that instead of being where you are, you may be such a gazillionaire that you have a huge estate with thousands of servants from your karma development. That's what the Vedic culture was for. And for the Kshatriyas, they wanted to die and go to the sun planet. Nice and warm place. They wanted to die and go to the sun planet. So what is the bad part? Well, the bad part is that they're not on the spiritual path. Prabhupada described the Kanista Adhikari. It's like standing at a train station on the deck, you're at the train station. And you see the train coming down the track. They say, oh, there comes the train. But you're not seeing a train. You don't see the train. You see a headlight,
Lights.
big, 4 feet wide or something, headlight brightly shining down the track. Said, oh, that is Krishna. But actually, it's the headlight of the train. And yes, so and what he was seeing is Brahman.
Can we get back to the point that how is that we are worshipping Lakshmi Narayan in the temples because we have deities of Radha and Krishna?
Well, Lakshmi Narayan is Radha and Krishna. Oh, why are we worshiping Lakshmi Narayan, Radha and Krishna as Lakshmi?
How is that? How is that we are worshipping Lakshmi Narayan?
We're
Because
not qualified to worship as real Radha Krishna.
But we have deities of Radha and Krishna over there now.
Yes, but we're not worshiping them in informal pastimes like they
So
are.
we are worshipping Radha and Krishna in the mode of Lakshmi Narayan?
Yes.
That's exactly.
That's exactly. If you want to know what happens when you want to worship Radha and Krishna directly, there's in Vrindavan, there's a place called Sevakunj, where the Radha and Krishna and the gopis dance, rasa dance, even today. On a certain moon or whatever, full moon, on a certain date of the year, they come and they dance in that place. The place is unusual because it's full of trees, small trees, 4-inch diameter branches, 6-inch diameter trunks, 8 inches are, small trees with leaves. The only difference is those trees are just the same as the trees outside of Sevakunj, except outside of Sevakunj, the trees are straight. And in Sevakunj, the trees are all gnarled over and twisted. Same trees. They're not by birth known for being twisted. They're known for being, trunk and then branches and then leaves like that, just a regular garden variety of tree. Not in Vrindavan, of course, there's nothing's garden variety, but they have these trees with fragrant blossoms, etc. And these trees are all twisted over, like writhing. You can go in there when it's not the full moon and not the rasa dance, and you can see the bathing ghat of who's it? Lalita, I think Lalita is there. It's a big tank. What in India they call it tank, right? It's a tank, a big square shape, and in there water. And we see it as with slime in it and stuff like that. But actually, it is transcendental. Only our eyes are mistaken, not the place. So we go in with material thinking, material eyes, material vision, and see these trees all twisted up, see the ground, and it's No, the cobblestones just like outside of Trivandrum. We rationalize it. Just like go to Vrindavan to the MVT restaurant. Oh, pizza. I'm going to have some transcendental pizza. No, you're going to have Italian pizza in a holy dham. That's what. So what you do is you go to Sevakunj. Now, some people, sahajas, sahaja means people that are pretending to be advanced more than they are. They go in and the Sevakunj is locked off during the time of the rasa dance by the caretakers of Vrindavan. And they go inside and they hide. And they witness the rasa dance of Radha, Krishna, and the gopis. And the next day, when the gop is opened up, that person has either gone completely insane, so insane that he cannot do anything. I mean, he's all over the place. He cannot speak, he cannot think, he cannot talk, he can't tell you what he saw, he can't do anything. He's just insane. Or he's dead. They come in and find a dead body. Like that, you know. So that's what happens if you worship Radha and Krishna directly. You want to go insane or die, go for it. But the actual fact is, we don't do that. We worship with incense and with the conch shell and with the ghee lamp. This is all done in awe and reverence. Radha and Krishna is not, their nature is not to be worshipped in awe and reverence. But our goal is to become so pure, so advanced, that we will be able to worship Radha and Krishna directly without the awe and reverence, but not until we have become the Uttama Adhikari ourselves. So any of these ISKCON gurus claim to be Uttama Adhikari. My advice is take them to Seva Kunj just before on the afternoon of the rasa dance, lock them inside and see if they come out dancing in ecstasy or if they're dead or insane.
You're gonna kill all the gurus, Prabhu. Don't talk like that.
Well, run out of gurus very quickly that way. The gurus, for all of wanting to be worshipped as though they're Prabhupada, the gurus are so wary, you would not be able to lure one of them into the Seva Kunj. You say, are you crazy? I don't want to go crazy. I don't want to die. Oh, I thought you were on the same level with Radha and Krishna. Oh, I thought you were a pure devotee. Uttama Adhikari, were you not supposed to be to become guru? Bhanu took that book, the Upadeshamrita, the Nectar of Instruction, and he sat down with you and said, what does this mean? And you said, oh, and it means pure devotee. Okay, now come to Seva Kunj. We're going to put you in there and see how pure you are. You'll be your joke on the public, or your crime on the public, or your fraud on the public will become visible very quickly.
Yeah.
12 hours, and we will find out who you really.
Okay, quick question, Prabhuji's.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Ronald Prabhu, Maharaj from Ellen Temple wants to join, but he needs a phone number to join. Can you contact him, please? Sorry.
Oh,
the guy who left the last one to leave a message at the bottom.
Okay. Does he want to join by computer or by iPhone?
What is his name? I might have his number. Do you know his name?
You can find his number in Sacramento as it is. He said, thank you, he said in the last message.
Oh, Vijay Maharaj. Okay.
You see the number there.
So why not?
Okay.
Is he listening to this program or not listening? Or he doesn't know how to listen?
Well, he cannot, he's not able to reach with his phone.
You can
so he needs a phone number to call.
To invite to join, and then give him a phone call and say, go to your email.
Yeah.
Or
let me
messages on iPhone.
I'll manage. You guys continue, please. I'll manage this. I know what I'm doing.
Okay. Sorry.
No
okay,
worries. Thank you.
Contact him. Thanks.
Was that Shravan that was asking?
Yes, that was Shravan.
Shravan Prabhu.
It sounded like Shravan.
Yes.
Now Lakshmi is coming on board. Is this the Lakshmi?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Good morning. I'm sorry.
Hare Krishna, good evening.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Ji.
How are you, Lakshmi Prabhu? Please accept my most humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All,
Thank you.
all
How are
glories
you?
to the, go ahead.
How are you doing?
Ah, well, now that you're here, we're going to be able to make some spiritual advancements. Why not?
Great.
This is the meaning of Istagosti, circle of cowherd boys gathering a circle in a round circle, sitting on the ground. Cowherd boys, Hare Krishna, and these
Hare Krishna.
cowherd boys, they all are equal. So even big sannyasi is there, little child is there, ladies are there, smart ladies, not so smart ladies, smart guys, not so smart guys are there. They're all equal in the Istagosti. So when you join the Istagosti, you're making us even more equal,
Right.
profoundly equal. Jai. Now somebody is under the name of Hare Krishna. Do you know who that is?
That's me. I'm under two names.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
this is you always used to join, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's
Did
me,
you just
Ronald
join
Singh.
Lakshmi, or did you hear any of this, what we were talking?
No, I just joined actually. I don't know what you were talking.
Well, you can always go to the internet and find out. It was actually pretty exciting stuff. We were talking
Okay.
about Sevakunj, where Radha Krishna dance with the gopis at a certain moon in a certain month, and how people go in there because they think they will become enlightened if they go in there. So they go in there, and they're not pure devotees. They're not transparent by a medium. They're just, maybe nice yogis or whatever. They chant, they do. Maybe they live in Radhakund, but they go in there, and at the time they go in there, I was describing how the same trees that are straight and nice with branches and trunk and everything outside of Sevakunj, in Sevakunj, they're all twisted and gnarled over. And yet they have, a tank of Lalita. They have the paving stones, it looks ordinary stuff, looks like. But when the Dupis and Radha and Krishna are there, it ceases to look ordinary. It takes on its beautiful transcendental qualities. So these persons go in there because they want to experience and witness the rasa dance. And in the morning, do you know what happens to them in the morning, Lakshmi Prabhu? Do you know what happens to them when they come in to open it up in the morning, the caretakers of Sevakut? Is that your child? No. They are either insane, insane. They can't talk, they can't communicate. This, They probably starve to death because they probably have to force them to eat or something like that, or they're dead. So these people who want to prematurely witness Krishna's pastimes, they end up insane or dead. So that's what the price is. So we were talking about how to become the Uttama Adhikari. You were here when we talked about how the Madhyam, Kanista and Madhyam can accept disciples, but they have to be on the same level. But for that reason, please take an Uttamadhikari for your guru, transparent via medium like Prabhupada, resident of Krishna Loka. Yes. And so we were describing it. We could take some ISKCON gurus who want to be thought of as pure devotees, maybe Uttama Adhikari, think they're claiming, take them to Sevakunj, lock them up there overnight during the rasa dance, and see if they're insane or dead in the morning. That we were talking.
That's the real test. I said that's the real test if you're a real guru or not.
Yeah. So I think that we can present that also as part of our questionnaire. Would you like to be locked in Sevakunj overnight during the rasa dance? Or are you just pretending to be a pure devotee?
Well, it's there in the nectar of instruction that if you pretend, then you're gonna go down. It's there in the nectar of instruction.
Explain.
It was there. It was there that one should not pretend to be a Uttamadakari devotee, otherwise
Oh, yeah.
he'll become
Because
degraded.
people that are
He'll become,
pretending to be Uttamadakari, they will fall down.
yeah, they'll become
Actually,
degraded.
that's not true. It's not that if you pretend to be a Uttamadakari, you will fall down. You cannot pretend to be an Uttamadakari without already having fallen down. You're living in the intoxication of your presumption of advancement, which is in itself a major offense for a Vaishnava to make. No Vaishnava is going to go and boast of his advancement. If he does, what's he going to accomplish? Money, followers, what's he want? What does he want? No, the Vaishnava doesn't care to do that because, I will tell you very frankly, in the course of our conversation here, I'm experiencing it sort of nicely. And that is, if you do that, you can't preach. If you try to make yourself important, you cannot preach effective. You cannot communicate. You cannot transfer transparently Krishna's pastimes and kata if you have an idea in your head that you want to take credit for it somehow or other. So the actual Uttamadakari does not take credit for anything.
Yes.
He gives credit. And if you look at any movies of Prabhupada, you will never see him sitting back there gloating over all the people that are worshiping him. Quite the opposite. He's bestowing his mercy, but as he bestows his mercy, meaning he sits forward on his seat in the airport, on the Vyasasan, wherever he is, he opens himself up and shares his feeling, his transcendental mood of pure, unalloyed love of God with those who have come to witness him, and never cuts short. And actually, he is giving to each person the seed of Uttama Adhikari. How to become Uttama Adhikari? Eventually. As Prabhupada pointed out when I asked him about that, oh, is it possible to become a pure devotee just like you, meaning Uttama Adhikari? He said, yes, why not? We are in the process. Then he looked at me funny and said, but it may take some time. So that we have to understand. We cannot reject the process because we haven't achieved the end goal. If the end goal, we have achieved the end goal. But if we are not yet a pure devotee, completely immersed in his rasa with Radha and Krishna, we cannot then say, oh, I've failed. We have to progress from kanistha and gradually get inside of the dry coconut shell of Madhyam Adhikari. And we get inside the dry coconut shell of Madhyam Adhikari, then we'll start listening in our heart to Vishnu or Krishna as Vishnu, Paramatma. And then in that mood, we advance and become more and more detached. So in the end, the coconut inside the coconut shell, if you shake it, it rattles. Why? Because I'm no longer attached to anything that the coconut shell has if I were to become a Madhyam Adhikari. And from there, the Madhyam Adhikari has no obstruction to perfecting his relationship of service and reciprocal mood with Krishna. In that coconut shell, inside the darkness of this universe, he is nonetheless freed from eating, sleeping, mating, defending impulse of the kanistha Adhikari. The Madhyam Adhikari, I'm going to shock you perhaps, doesn't follow the regulated principles, the 4 regulated principles. What? Does he eat meat? What? Does he have illicit sex? What does he do? No. He doesn't, they don't come into his span of attention. Only the kanistha may be tempted to go dancing with a sex worker, or eat some meat or eggs. He may be tempted. Therefore, he is required to follow the four regulative principles. But when you become the Madhyamadikari, four regulative principles no longer apply, because, I mean, you may say that here's Nara Narayan Das, and I have to follow the principle not to eat, go out on the lawn and get on all fours and sniff and eat dog poo. I mean, if I'm like comparing myself to Madhyamadikari, I have no interest in sniffing or tasting dog poo. Why would I? But if I'm another dog, I might. Other dogs like to go and sniff and bite the dog poo of the other dog. So that you have to say, no, you're not allowed. You have to
So
higher platform.
there was an interview with Srila Prabhupada in, I think this was in Australia or something. And Prabhupada was saying, I'm always a servant of God. It is for you to recognize.
Meaning?
So in an interview, an interviewer asked him, are you a servant of God? He said, yes, I'm always a servant of God. It is for you to recognize.
Yeah. Yes.
Such a powerful statement that
Exactly.
Prabhupada said.
Because
So,
the Kanista Adhikari can see the guru and say, he's the guru, I accept him, he's my spiritual master, but he may be asking that question. And Prabhupada will then answer that that's for you to recognize. When you recognize, then you can approach becoming the Madhyamadikari.
I'm sharing the link with everyone who wants to see it. So I sent it to everyone. It's very instructive.
Yes.
So.
Well, why not? The secret is there's no secret. The secret is no secret. The secret is sharing truth, communicating the truth to whomever, anyone, whether they want to hear it or not. If a guy doesn't want to hear the truth and you speak the truth, it still goes in through his ears, from his ears through the nerves and all that into his heart. In that heart, it will go a little bit, maybe he hates Krishna consciousness, but a little strand will go into his heart and go boing, and that will be the beginning of his devotional service. Maybe in 100 million lifetimes, but at least not as though he hadn't had that experience. When we talk to someone about Krishna, we should recognize this may be the last opportunity that person ever has to not take hundreds of millions more births. We have to take into account. Now, I'm living in Los Angeles, if you can call that living. Living in Los Angeles, and there's so many people. They all have cars, even the ones that are complaining, the Black Lives Matter, no, we're being kept down. No, you're not. You are living according to your karma. Whatever your karma is, you're living that way. So why are you complaining? You can be whatever you like, but this is what you're choosing to be. So that whole thing is these people are all choosing something. Guy in Beverly Hills having an affair with his housemaid from the Guatemala or Dominican Republic. He's got a limousine that he drives, or a Ferrari. He's got these wonderful dogs that are so purebred they're worth a king's ransom each. He's living in this beautiful mansion and he's enjoying like crazy. And he's got a beautiful wife. He's got excellent children, are going to probably go and get PhDs in something good. Maybe they'll become lawyers also. And he has all of that going for him. But what happens at the time of death? He's feasted. He has feasted on his bowl of karma. He's munched up tons and tons of karmic goodies that he's earned in previous lives by being austere. You don't get good karma by living high on the hog, by being a rich guy in Beverly Hills. You don't get good karma from that. You get good karma from austerity. So you get austerity, 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 austerity. You end up with a big bunch of good karma. Now I can take birth and enjoy and enjoy and enjoy and enjoy. until it's all gone.
Austerity.
Right.
Yeah. So as soon as the karma is all gone, then what?
Again become mouse.
And then become house.
I
Exactly.
mean, good deeds give good karma. Austerity is devotion, right?
I'm sorry?
Good
Bhanu
deeds
Prabhu
give
said,
good karma.
good deeds give good karma. Bhanu Prabhu is saying.
Well, it depends on the good deed. Not if you give a beggar, one of my favorite things is when you are in Christmas time or something, and you or Thanksgiving time, and you want to see, and you want to help a beggar. He begs, and you say, "This man deserves a nice Thanksgiving. I'll give him $10, not $1, not 50 cents, but $10, so we can have a nice Thanksgiving or a nice Christmas." So the guy goes out and buys a half gallon of whiskey, and he's an alcoholic. So this guy with his whiskey drinks it down and dies of cirrhosis of the liver. He dies from the whiskey. He doesn't just get drunk, it kills him. So I am now guilty of murder without
Right.
knowing it. I have killed that man. So we have to know when we're doing a good deed that it's actually a good deed.
Right.
And in our day and age, the only good deed that really actually works is to distribute prasadam. That's what
Right.
that's what's going on in Bangalore. They're distributing prasadam to millions of people a day. That is very good. That is a good deed.
Okay. We have a question from a devotee
Distributing
named
sausages to everybody and is not a good deed.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Mr. Singh. What's his name? Kavir Singh. He asked a question. He asked the question, how do you define dharma?
Dharma?
Yes.
It's very simple. The word dharma, no matter how you slice it, can be defined as, or described, or translated as duty. What is my duty? Like Prabhupada told me in Seattle in 1968, he pointed on his desk. He said, "Do you see that little ant?" And I was new to the movement. My head was swimming because I was, becoming accustomed to being a devotee. He said, "Do you see that little ant?" I stared at the table and I could not see an ant. But Prabhupada was very insistent that I see that ant. So I smiled as best I could. Yes, I see you. Okay. And then he said, "What is my duty to that ant?" Meaning dharma. What is my dharma? What is my duty to that ant? I'm thinking, oh no, like there's an ant that I cannot see and quite possibly isn't there. Although Prabhupada is perfect, pure devotee, why would he tell me there's an ant there if it isn't an ant there? I was a very much a neophyte, just a couple of months in the movement. And he said, my duty, maybe I will give him some, chant Hare Krishna or give him some prasadam. And then he sat up and looked at me and said, if you give some, chant Hare Krishna and give prasadam to this ant, then our whole movement is a glorious success. And this is at a time when there were
We have Karanveer Prabhu here.
there were
wanna
not
say
even
hello, Prabhu?
100 members in ISKCON at that time. Go ahead.
Oh, Karanveer Prabhu asked
We have
the question
Karan
about dharma.
Prabhu.
Go ahead. Yes.
Banu was asking?
No.
Can I add few points here?
Yes, go ahead.
I can't see you.
Yeah.
Lakshmi. What happened to her picture?
Okay. Yeah, whatever Narayana Prabhu said, yeah, that's the same thing I read in one book, which was
Right.
answered by Prabhupada Swami. So he also said, like, the real dharma of this human life is to accept the Supreme Lord, the Krishna as a Supreme Lord, and
Yes.
surrendering to Him completely is
Yes.
our main dharma. That's
Right.
the only, that is the definition of dharma he has given in one interview.
What was the last part she said? See, I lip read. I'm deaf, so I tend to lip read.
Yeah, surrendering to him completely without any fear or any negative feeling is a dharma for us.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yes,
Very nice, Mataji. Thank
but it is
Amen.
not just that we surrender to Krishna, that we if you want to really surrender to Krishna, engage somebody else in Krishna consciousness.
Right.
Yes. If I surrender to Krishna, it's about me.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
It's nice. It's a wonderful thing. It's beautiful to surrender to Krishna. But if I want to please Krishna by surrendering to Krishna, help someone else surrender to Krishna, and in that process, the lights will go on in you, the jiva, and you will become so satisfied that
But
you
are
have,
we surrendered to Krishna?
yeah, you've brought someone to Krishna. It's an incredibly, I would say, intoxicating experience. Intoxicating in the sense that you become filled with ecstasy to bring someone to Krishna. And then if they see what you're doing, instead of them trying to, oh, I'm going to become Krishna conscious, I'm going to go back to God, and I'm going to become a pure devotee. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. No. Instead of that, they will reach out and make someone else Krishna conscious.
Right.
And in that way, we reach out, reach out, reach out. Can you imagine if everyone on earth right now, on earth, reached out to someone? The world would be Krishna conscious in a matter of minutes.
How do you define Krishna consciousness to a new person?
Ah, well, it's however, whatever they're interested. You see, what I do is I ask people, "Do you have a soul?" "Oh yes, I have a soul." I say, "Well, that's interesting. You have a soul. You believe that?" "Oh yes, I believe I have a soul." And I can tell they've been taught that by their religion, whatever it is, Christian, whatever, most likely. And then I say, "Well, I don't have a soul." Then they look at, "Oh, like you're one of those that doesn't believe they have a soul." I say, "No, I do not have a soul. I am the soul and I have a body." Put it differently, I am the driver and I'm driving a car. The car is not me. The car is the vehicle. My body is not me. The body is a vehicle. I, the soul, am driving the body, which is equivalent to the car. And
Right.
I said, "Do you like that idea?" I just asked him off bat. And I get away with a lot because I'm a senior citizen, and they don't
Mhm.
expect senior citizens to act crazy, like that. Say, ask crazy questions. So, but I do. It's my nature.
Say a person is asking what is Krishna consciousness to us, to a devotee.
What is
What is
Krishna?
Krishna consciousness?
Okay, Krishna then it comes to, if I am the soul, then I am not created by God. And I've been reading very carefully the book of Genesis in the Bible. It never says that God creates the soul. It doesn't. It's really funny. It doesn't. Creates Adam and Eve, breathes on dust and turns it into people before Adam and Eve. That, it doesn't describe that. So what we're talking about is the soul is part and parcel of God, not created by God. And so if the soul is part and parcel of God, if I am the soul, I am part of God. If I am a conscious part of God, that is because God is conscious. If God were not conscious, I would not be conscious. I, the soul, I, the infinitesimal part of God, would not be conscious if God were not conscious, if Krishna were not conscious. Therefore, we have to assume, and there's no religion on earth, and even the atheists can have a hard time with it, to say that the source of life is not conscious. The all attractive source of life is the source of consciousness. And I am an infinitesimal tiny part of consciousness. So if you want to understand who you are, then understand that you're part of someone that is infinite, and that you yourself as you might suspect on certain days when things aren't going well, are infinitesimal. Infinitesimal means infinitely small, so small, defying measurement. Like in math class, in geometry class, you put a pencil mark on a page and draw another one and draw a line in between. Well, if you go to an electron microscope 50 times magnification, 50,000 times magnification, that'll look like a football field. That's not a line and that's no points. Points have no dimension. We use a pencil because we don't have anything else to use. We could use a pin, but a pin's tip is still very huge compared to infinitesimal. So Prabhupada says the soul is 1/10,000th the tip of the human hair. I will guarantee that that is a matter of speech. Why? Because if you take a human hair and multiply it 10,000 times, it will look like a gigantic log. It will not look infinite. It will not look infinitesimal. So just 1/10,000th the tip of a human hair is how you explain to somebody how small the soul really is. And if they're smart, they will say 1/10,000th the tip of the human hair. I thought you said the soul was infinitesimal. Yes, I did say that. Then how can it be 1/10,000th the tip of a human hair? That would be huge by comparison. Infinitesimal means non-dimensional. Yes, that's the soul. So go around saying 1/10,000th the tip of a human hair to me, because I can understand that that means it's just a metaphor to induce me to understand that the soul is not very big. It's not as big as anything we do. It's not as big as a cat or a mouse. It's not as big as a crocodile, as a caterpillar. It's not as big as a bug. It's not as big as a germ. It's infinitesimally small. So therefore, that's what 1/10,000th the tip of a human hair is meant to say. And I'd have to respond and say, well, sir or ma'am, that's very good of you to say that. It's very intelligent of you to say that. In fact, it's brilliant. In fact, it's basically self-realized for you to say that. But I will say that my spiritual master said that, not so that we would believe literally, but that we would understand that the soul is not big. We think, if I think I'm my body, then by comparison, and I have a soul, then I'm bigger than the soul. That's the way it would be if I'm the body. So my spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, transparent by medium to Krishna, is describing how we are not very big compared to what we think we are. And we definitely aren't as big as our body.
Right. We have a question.
Yes.
Once you're done. We have a devotee named Karveer Singh, and he's asking a question. He asks about dharma, so you answered the question about dharma. And then he's asking about love or knowledge, which one to prioritize above in the list.
Oh, love.
Yeah, his name is Karan Veer.
Karanveer Singh. Yes.
He's what?
He's asking the question, love or knowledge, which one to prioritize above in the list of life?
We are tempted to try both of those, and that's probably why you want to know which one to try, because they're both very desirable in our particular birth and our particular consciousness in this lifetime. Now, obviously, who has asked that question is educated, intelligent, and well-read. Otherwise, he wouldn't ask a question like that. So we're saying this intelligent gentleman or lady or gentleman, this intelligent person has just asked, which is better? Did you say intelligence or
knowledge or love?
It's a
knowledge or love.
A gentleman.
It's a gentleman. Knowledge or love. Okay, that's nice. So what is more important, knowledge or love? Actually, those are questions emanating from the material perspective. I am looking with love to look for God. I am looking with knowledge to look for God. Who? My body, my mind, my existence as I experience it. But if I approach it as a jiva, as an infinitesimal part and parcel of Krishna, The love is the relationship between the soul, the jiva, and God, and that takes development. It isn't automatic. It isn't something you start with either. And if you want to talk about knowledge, what is knowledge? The first thing you need to know in terms of knowledge is aham brahmasmi. I am the soul.
Okay. I need to drop off because of my work.
Jai,
But
go ahead.
I'll watch out this
Well, we
video
welcome
after
you.
telecast. But
Well,
I just wanted to share one of my experience just a day before yesterday happened.
Jai.
So I just slept praying Krishna, asking please
Hare
come in my dream. Okay, that's
Krishna.
like every day I ask and I sleep. But like day before yesterday, what happened? I met Prabhupada in my dream.
We
I
welcome you.
saw him doing bhajan in a room, and so many people were sitting in front of them, and like we do bhajan with instruments. So we were doing bhajan, and after bhajan, he took me to his room, and that's all. I don't remember anything else. And when I woke up early in the morning, then I opened my sister's chat. Even she said the same, like I met Prabhupada in my dream. I was with him whole night and all. Like the same day, me and my sister like both got Srila Prabhupada in our dream. And yeah, like yesterday was so silent. That feel was really different. Only tears. That's all. There was nothing else. So we were
That
so happy yesterday. But I didn't. There was no meeting yesterday, so I couldn't share this with you. Yeah, that's it.
Jai.
Wonderful, Mataji.
this is
That's
Yeah.
how Prabhupada inspires us to come,
yes.
to advance in this devotion.
Yeah, Prabhupada is pleased that you're coming here
Yes.
and
My
joining the
father
Ishta
was
Goshti.
a bit of a visionary. He painted the picture behind my head in this image here. He said, I welcome your coming and I hasten your departure, meaning Godspeed. That if you have to go, go with the blessing of God. And I welcome your coming, and when you leave, I give you the blessing of God to go with you.
Jai. Wonderful dream that you had that Prabhupada is the spiritual master of everyone here.
True. Yeah, okay.
Well,
Thank you.
because
Have a
we
great
discussed
discussion.
Uttamadikari as opposed to Madhyam
Hare
or
Krishna.
Krishna.
Right.
Uttamadikari is the spiritual master. So unless another Prabhupada were to show up and show all those symptoms, we will have to say Prabhupada is, from our perspective, the last, probably the last Uttama Adhikari for the next 10,000 years.
Jai.
And that's not to lament, that's to celebrate.
So Karanveer Prabhu's question, Karanveer Prabhu, was your question answered?
1 second. My sister's kid. She's my sister.
Hare
And he
Krishna.
yeah, he
Jai.
wants to say Hari Bol. Say Hari Bol.
Oh, who is the child?
Ah, Hari Bol. Hari
Haribol.
Bol.
And what is the name of the child?
Niranjan. Niranjan is the name of Hanuman.
Niranjan.
Niranjan.
Niranjan. Yes.
That's wonderful. So you're blessing yourselves.
Yes.
How
She's
do you
she's
need
the
a blessing? I'm saying you're creating the blessing. You're living your blessing, and so I can bless your blessing, but you're already made a blessing for yourselves, and that's wonderful. Keep going. Tell Niranjan is old man and a pure
Thank you.
devotee. Hare Krishna. So
Hare
wonderful
Krishna.
to see you. We'll see you next occasion. Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Matajis.
Now this is the way we want things to be, right?
Jai Prabhu. So Karanveer Prabhu, Nara Narayan Prabhu, you are saying that Karanveer Singh Prabhu's question was coming from the material platform. Can you elaborate on that to some
Put it
degree?
this way, not just his question, anyone in the material body, his questions are coming from the material platform. Why? Because we identify with our body.
Right.
Now, if you're asking knowledge, or not, what was the other? Knowledge or
Love. Right.
Okay, that is an attempt to step outside of the human body while staying in the human body. The way to get the idea of knowledge is first to know who I am. If I don't know who I am, we're not going to get very far doing anything. So who am I? Aham, aham brahmasmi. Aham brahmasmi means I am spirit soul. And that is part and parcel of Krishna. So love comes automatically when knowledge is perfected. Because our nature is sat, is eternal. I like to emphasize sat because I don't know much about knowledge and I don't know much about bliss. But when you're talking about knowledge, you're talking about chit, knowledge. And if you're talking about love, you're talking about ananda or transcendental bliss. So Satchit Ananda is the nature of the soul. So we don't need to approach it. All we need to do is, first of all, not deny that I'm the soul. I am the soul. Aham Brahmasmi means I am the soul. I'm not the have a soul. I am the soul. And it doesn't mean I am the body and I have a soul. It means I am the soul and I don't even have a body. The body is on its own. The body lives in the material world and it is a product of karma. It's a product of guided by planetary influences, which make it this race or that race, and this food or that food, this opportunity, this amount of wealth, that amount of wealth, this amount of poverty. This all comes from your planet. That has nothing to do with who you are. If you want to be sat, eternal, chit, knowledge, ananda, bliss, or love, then you can abandon the body because the body does not pertain to those three things. Body is definitely not eternal. If you've been to a funeral, you'll see that easily enough. And knowledge, sat chit knowledge. So what knowledge are we going to get? I was talking, I think, earlier, yesterday maybe, Immanuel Kant, the German philosopher, said in the midst of his opulent place with chandeliers and a big table, beautiful cloth, servants eating pheasants or something of that sort, paintings on the walls, and he says there, half drunk from his champagne, I think, therefore I am. Well, that has been heralded throughout centuries, since several centuries since Immanuel Kant, as being knowledge. I think, therefore I am. But we do not consider that much in the way of knowledge, do we? I think. More appropriately, I am, therefore I think. But when you say I am, therefore I think, then you have to get into the touchy question, well, who am I? Well, you, Karanveer Singh, can say, I am the spirit soul, aham brahmasmi. Therefore I can think. Not I think, therefore I become soul. No, this idea of soul was sort of relativistic, or it could be considered an absolute. If I think, therefore I am, that I am is an absolute, but you cannot distinguish between who I am and who somebody else is. So that type of knowledge, we need to just exfoliate it, shed it, get rid of it. So what do we start with? We start with jiva. And if we look at the jiva, your question is answered. Jiva is eternal. Okay, that part we can handle. Jiva is eternal, blissful, meaning love, and full of knowledge. Sat, chit, knowledge, ananda, bliss. So does that answer your question at all? Or give you a nudge in the right direction in terms of where the question is going?
Yeah, he got his answer, Prabhu.
For all of us, not just you, for me. I never thought of it that way before. So thank you, Karandir Prabhu, to enlighten me by your question, by your asking to answer your question has given another spoke in the wheel of my infantile enlightenment, beginning enlightenment.
Jai. So if anyone has any more questions, who's watching on YouTube, on Zoom, they can ask. They can also phone in, or they can use the link to join and ask questions live on Zoom. So this is a wonderful opportunity to do that.
The wonderful thing that I notice is whether it's just you and me, Ronald Singh, or others also, like right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, 5 people. We started out with 3 2 weeks ago. And the nice thing is that whether it's 5 people on Zoom or 100 people on Zoom, the net result is that we are trying to bring out the questions that are worth asking in life. We're trying to bring out the question that everybody wants to know the answer to. Who am I?
Right.
What is my purpose? So I can give you automatic answer. Who am I? Here I am, ISKCON devotee. Oh, your spirit soul. Okay.
No.
But
First whose disciple you are.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's where it goes. But whatever the answer, it's opaque. It doesn't lead to the next question. Because from their point of view, if you ask too many questions, it disturbs the group, disturbs the crowd. You have a
Yes,
crowd
you
of
cannot.
people sitting.
You cannot ask too many questions in ISKCON, or any institution. You cannot ask. No, not just ISKCON. Any
You
institution.
just want to ask questions to get the answer. So when you are asked the answer, you give the right answer, which is the answer you were told, not your self-realization.
Right.
Or
Where's the realization?
if we are in the process of self-realization, then the answer will be coming from Paramatma, Krishna, in the heart. Why not? I mean, is it that Paramatma is not interested? After serving us hand and foot for not lifetimes or decades or minutes or hours, but serving us species after species for hundreds of millions of lives, Paramatma has taken this jiva, Nara Narayan Das, in this lucky lifetime, as an ant, as a termite, as a germ, as a parasite. Whatever I've been in that lifetime, I want. You know, the maggot says, "Give me dead flesh. Oh, I want something rotten. Oh, give me." And guess who's telling him how to do it? Krishna.
Paramatma.
Maggot, how to eat dead flesh. How entertaining for Krishna. But he does it because Krishna, we need to know one thing about Krishna. He does not deny himself anything. Why should he? The whole point of being Krishna is not denying himself anything. That's why Krishna Loka exists, so that he can be in the ultimate recipient of all that is there, that he's not denying himself, but he's encouraging others to take part, and everyone is experiencing transcendental bliss beyond anything we could imagine on planet Earth. I assure you of that. So, when all of this pleasure and bliss is going on, oh yes, I'm directing it that why Krishna will not deny himself to even the tiniest pleasure, hint, 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 the tiniest pleasure. If I am part and parcel of Krishna, why would Krishna not want to satisfy his part and parcel, who, after all, is equal to him in quality, if not in quantity? If I am equal to God in quality, and I want some horrible, nasty thing, and I ask for it, why will Krishna deny part of himself something that part of himself wants? That would be ridiculous. He doesn't. He gives everybody what they want. the fools. I was a fool. I'm still a fool. We are going on and on, birth after birth, with Paramatma being asked, where can I get some kidney tissue in this live person? I'm a germ. Where can I get some kidney tissue? I want to eat kidney. Munch, munch. There, munch, munch. Eat some kidney. Even in a devotee, the devotee is busy trying to become a pure devotee, and meanwhile, Paramatma is guiding the kidney maggot to germ to eat the same devotee's kidney. Why not?
So we have a question
Yes.
from another devotee named Bhanu Prabhu. So
Bhanu?
maybe, yes, Bhanu has a question.
Okay.
So maybe Shravan can answer it. I think Shravan knows the answer to this.
Okay.
Isn't worshipping in awe and reverence also one of the moods in Goloka?
No, it's a question to Nara Narayan Prabhu, because
Okay.
you were saying we are worshipping in awe and reverence in reference to Lakshmi Narayan, not to Krishna. Since Krishna also has an awe and reverence mode in Goloka, that's what I'm asking.
So he's asking, isn't worshipping in awe and reverence also one of the moods in Goloka?
In Krishna, well, Goloka includes Vishnu planets. You're talking about Krishna Loka.
Goloka Vrindavan.
Are you talking about Goloka or Krishna Loka?
Goloka Vrindavan, and the
Goloka
grass,
Vrindavan.
that dresses,
Goloka
dresses
Vrindavan.
the Gopa's way,
That means
the
Krishna
sand
Loka.
particles,
Hare Krishna.
all are in awe and reference.
No. Because in Krishna Loka, all the pastimes are intimate and direct. The awe and reverence is how we worship Radha and Krishna in the ISKCON temples, according to Prabhupada's installation and instruction. And insofar as they're doing that now, which is easier to do because it's formal, it is for so many formalities involved. Because of that, we are worshiping in awe and reverence in the temple, but we're not worshiping with awe and reverence in Krishna Loka.
The sand particles, dresses, the leaves, aren't they worshipping Krishna in awe and reverence in Goloka Vrindavan?
Do the leaves on the trees worship Krishna in Goloka? Did you say?
The sand particles, the river, water drops, everything inanimate, sorry, not the everything.
He's asking,
Yes.
Are they not worshipping in awe and reverence?
Well, not exactly, because the 5 principal rasas include Shanta rasa. Shanta rasa means without any personal quality. Like Shanta rasa can be a stone. Shanta rasa can be a drop of water, as you say. Shanta rasa is something like that. It's not like it's all in reverence because they're all impacted. To give an example, there's times when Krishna is playing his flute, surrounded by devotees, whether they're gopis, gopas, adults, children, or whatever. He's walking along through the forest. The forest, the trees begin to bow down to him as he goes through. Why? Because they're stuck in the ground, but they want to get closer to Krishna. And the Jamuna River in Krishna Loka, when he walks past, the Jamuna River begins to ease itself closer to Krishna's lotus feet as he walks by, because the Jamuna River wants to be closer to Krishna. So awe and reverence is a little less direct, or shall we say a little less personal, in the sense that Lakshmi Narayan are worshipped with great formality, but the Jamuna River or the blades of grass, they may be in Shanta Rasa, which is as close to impersonal as Krishna Loka gets, a stone, a drop of water, a tear. Now, all of these things are personified. And yet it can be in a passive rasa. but not autumn reverence. The rasa is called passive. Shanta rasa means passive relationship with Krishna. Vatsalya rasa means cowherd boy's relationship to Krishna. Madhurya rasa means dancing with Krishna as a gopi. The gopi is dancing with Krishna. Cowherd boys do not take part in Madhurya rasa with Krishna, only gopis. So it's all very perfect. It's all established without flaw. There's no seams. There's no overlap. Nothing in our material experience can describe to us or become a simile to what it is like to be in Krishna Loka. Because in Krishna Loka, there are no seams. It's seamless. The only seam that seems to be there is Yogamaya. Because if a person is a cowherd boy, he's not involved with Krishna's dancing with gopis. He's separated from that. So the seam is, he's not part of that rasa. He's part of his own rasa. And that goes on, but it's not like it's an isolated rasa. He's part of the entire thing. Actually, the cowherd boy in Vatsalya rasa is part of the Madhurya rasa because he's part and parcel of Krishna. And Krishna is involved in the Madhurya rasa. So he is exactly getting the effect of Madhurya rasa while remaining strictly a cowherd boy. These are the
Cowherd boy is in Sakya Rasa, right?
Satya rasa.
Sakya.
What is? What is Sakya rasa?
Friendship.
Yes. So you can have all these rasas and sub-rasas. These rasas all can be divided up infinitely into tinier and tinier rasas. They just fall into general categories. That we call them that by the Madhurya rasa, but you go into the Madhurya rasa, it is incredibly intricate. There's no way to describe all the subtlety differences of thought and feeling, gesture and mood of gopis that are either with or hoping to be with or have lost contact with Krishna. They are all, we read about this in the Krishna book. We read about this, is the relationship of gopis to Krishna is so completely subtle and confounding that there's no way to describe it except by describing it. There's no way to participate unless you're part of it. There's no way to understand it unless you're there. So we cannot be there because we're not gopis, or presumably not all of us are gopis. So who is Rosa Espinosa Jimenez?
We got some devotees, huh? We're having a conversation with Nara Narayan Prabhu. You can ask any questions you want.
Who is your humble and eternal servant? What's going on?
We got some disturbance from Okay, I'm removing.
So, this is a good example.
Taking my dick in my pants.
You know, this
Like, bro. I give her this young man.
also making spiritual advancement without knowing it. It's
I'm removing them.
there's Elizabeth.
Yes. So anyone have a question regarding
Cabeza
this?
de pingo, forra, negra, olor a mandarina, pelotuda, cajetuda, hija de puta, hija de remil puta, hija de una huracanada de putas, hija de una camionada de remil putas, adicta al chino tuerto, negra, chota, mal nacida, culiada, mal culiada, puta barata, tira goma, cara de pingo, cara de concha, cara de culo, olor a culo, negra, lechera, petera.
So
Go ahead, Prabhu.
how did he get in?
No, it's an open invitation to anyone can enter. I'll change it next time.
Yeah. So no putas.
All kinds of crazy people we have.
Well, that's fine.
So,
Ultimately, it would be wonderful. We're so big and so great that he comes in and then becomes immersed in the bhakti as he gives up his putas.
who doesn't pray this?
You know what putas is, right?
Probably some kind of bad things.
Sex workers,
Oh, I see.
putas.
There's someone from Argentina. I'm from
Yes,
Argentina and love you to all. Yes.
well, he just had a chance to associate with devotees.
Jai.
That's
You
what
can ask
Narada
any.
Muni did. He associated with the Bhaktivedanta during the rainy season. And from that, when he grew up, he became a Parvajakacharya, or wandering sannyasi with no place of residence.
Yes.
Parvajakacharya means he goes here, there, and everywhere in the service of the Lord. He wanders.
Jai. So very good. So our friend here, have you read any of Prabhupada's books?
Who?
There's Emmanuel.
Ah, is this the guy with the putas?
No, someone else.
Okay.
So, have you read any of Srila Prabhupada's books, Emmanuel?
Is he there?
Yeah, he's here.
Okay, you don't need to ask. Maybe he just wants to listen, participate.
Jai.
Shravanam Kirtanam. Shravanam means hearing, Kirtanam means repeating, chanting what you've heard. So we're trying to hear from Prabhupada and repeat what he said and intended and decreed and asked for and wanted and made sure everybody understood what they were supposed to do. And now we want to say, let's give up this sandbox play game of kids hitting each other with little sand trowels on the head, and let's get in and do what Prabhupada said he wanted done. Easy as that. Let's just do what Prabhupada said to do. He wanted the temples individually incorporated. Good, let's start incorporating individual temples.
Jai.
You know, he wanted the temple presidents to elect the GBCs. Hey, let's do that. Let's elect GBCs. So there's no secret to it. Prabhupada, if anything, the biggest problem of secrecy in ISKCON is in our own minds and our own hearts. Because we're busy saying, well, they're not doing this, they're not doing that. But actually, the truth is everything is out in the open. It can be done. It can be done now. It can be done in an instant. If anyone really reflects on the fact that it's supposed to be done. It's meant to
Right.
be done.
Mm-hmm.
So we're creating the supposed to be done, meant to be done version of Krishna consciousness by saying whatever Prabhupada said should be done. If it isn't being done, let's make it done. Let's do it. Let's not just do it. Let's make it a thing, a fait accompli, a done deal. Let's make. If Prabhupada said do like that, then we'll do like that. We don't have to
It's
worry
very
about other people.
yes.
Everyone can do. Just like a man can marry a wife or several wives, they can go off and they can have affairs. So we're not worried about the wives having affairs. We're worried about creating an atmosphere of chastity where the wife doesn't have affairs. You know,
Even if she does have affairs, it doesn't affect us.
no, because it's her business. She's chosen to walk away from her opportunity. Let's
Right.
just say
So
that any woman who marries a devotee who's following Prabhupada, as we're describing, we're coming gradually to the conscious understanding that it's right out in the open and we can just do it, you know? There's nothing to
right.
stop us. So when we realize that if somebody is with us and walks away from it, whether it's a friend or a wife or a blood relative or who it is, they walk away. Well, that's what they're doing. They're walking away. But that doesn't mean that it should affect us. because we're pursuing the truth. And if we pursue the
Right.
truth, it will all work out in the end.
Even if it doesn't work out.
That does work out.
No, it does work out, but na dhanam na sundarim kavita. Even if we get trampled, we're still gonna pursue this, no matter what.
But it works out because if we say it, it's done. Whatever we
Of course.
say, if we speak the truth, this is transcendental truth, right? That we're talking right now.
Right.
If it's transcendental truth, then it's done. The question is how much.
Mm.
Not that we try and we fail, we might fail, it's still worth doing. No, it's done. If I say the truth, aham brahmasmi, what are you going to do about it? If I say aham brahmasmi, you can try to convince me no, you can try to kill me, you may try to do so many things if I say aham brahmasmi, but what can you do? It's already done. I already said it. And it's true. If I say aham brahmasmi and it's not true, then it's a big problem because I have to be educated in what is true. But aham brahmasmi happens to be true. So then where's the argument, you see?
Right, right.
How can we
Jai.
argue? It's just right out in the open. So everything we're talking about is right out in the open. This is a sort of a burst of enthusiasm that's coming through me right now, in that everything we want to see happen has happened in this conversation. But
Yes.
the transcendental nature of life is not that you just do something that happens. The transcendental nature of life is that it increases to happen. So you say, well, look, there's just a few devotees and they just said three things and the three things were true, but there's probably a lot of other things that are true. That's true. And you say, okay, now what about all the rest? Well, say it, do it. What are you worried about? What are you waiting for? There's nothing to wait for. We do it and we say it and it makes it true. It's real as soon as it's said. Because we're not
Right.
dealing with rocks and we're not dealing with bodies. We're not dealing with human beings. We're dealing with transcendental nature.
Jai.
You
So
like it?
yes, definitely. We have another person join.
Jai.
Maybe they can introduce themselves. We're talking about the Hare Krishna movement and how it's going to go on the next 10,000 years. And if you have any questions to Nara Narayan Prabhu, he can answer
All of
them.
us, not just Nara Narayan Prabhu. I'm just one member out of the group,
Jai. So
but I talk a lot.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, do you have any questions? Sachin.
Ignacio Prabhu.
Yes, he's also here.
Okay.
Okay.
So, but doesn't want to ask anything. That's okay. Listen. Shravanam. Shravanam means listening, hearing. But Shravanam means not hearing rap music or rock and roll. Shravanam means, and we have Shravan right here. Shravanam means hearing the transcendental sound vibration. And Kirtanam means to utter that same transcendental sound vibration without adding it or subtracting it for anything. It's complete in itself. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. We keep going like that, understanding transcendental coming from the pure devotee. So where did ISKCON run into a snag? They heard from the pure devotee, then they managed to find a way of changing it. They found a way of disagreeing with it. They found a way of thinking, well, he's Indian and we're American, so we understand better. This is the endless tidal waves or tsunami or whatever you want to call it of ignorance trying to overwhelm knowledge and the ignorance being renamed as knowledge. Just because you can all vote that something is true, that's different than what we heard from Prabhupada, doesn't make it true. It just means a lot of people are wrong. And if they can gang up and make bylaws and work together and make money and get innocent people involved for the public and members and disciples and all that. If they do that, they're still wrong.
Right.
It doesn't get right until it's Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. So we're dealing, and I've been talking with Dr. Ronald Singh earlier today. We're dealing with a problem, how to connect. How do we connect what Prabhupada said with the world today without making stupid mistakes and telling lies and without changing? The minute there's no question of change of the pure devotee. If Prabhupada spoke, that is our law. That's our life. How am I going to come along and say, well, Prabhupada didn't understand business corporations, and so he wanted to make it like more Hindu, but we want to make it more like General Motors, and we're going to make it a corporate ISKCON. How can anyone do that and be called disciple?
Right.
Well, I hate to say it to my dear Prabhus who did it and are doing it now, and that is, when you did it, you did not.
You cease to become a disciple.
You're no longer a disciple. Disciple means as it is. These words are so simple coming from Prabhupada. We can use them out. Oh, Bhagavad Gita as it is. It's a nice book that we changed because we didn't like all of the as it is in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's as it is except for as it used to be and isn't anymore. The Bhagavad Gita as it used to be is no longer the Bhagavad Gita as it now is. So all of that is aparad, offense against a pure devotee. Worse, it's worse than an offense against a pure devotee. It's then a great offense against whatever jiva said it, uttered it. Whoever said we need corporate ISKCON, he's committed a great offense against himself because he's lying to himself and missing the truth that was spoken by the transparent via medium, His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada did not lie. He did not mislead. He didn't misunderstand. And unlike Tamal's comments, he was never senile.
He said that. Wow.
Tamal said he was senile. He was a pure, and Sharmasundar, he was a pure devotee. We are so lucky. But imagine how many people have been lucky throughout history when great devotees or pure devotees have appeared amongst them. They've tried to figure out some way to misunderstand. And what Prabhupada said to those University of Washington students that came in when we first opened the temple on 29th Avenue in Seattle, he said to them as they were sitting there looking nice, you know, they were all well dressed in those days. And he said, please do not try to misunderstand, he said. Misunderstanding is already there.
Mm-hmm.
Please do not try to misunderstand. Misunderstanding is already there. But he spoke to those students who most likely never, who knows if some of them became devotees, you never know. But they weren't not thinking nicely then. But look at all the people in the room that were devotees. We were thinking, oh, they should not misunderstand. Well, what about us? We should not misunderstand. Why? Misunderstanding is already there. So when the pure devotee speaks, we accept it as it is. Shravanam Kirtanam. Vishnu Smaranam. Shravanam Kirtanam has no gaps that permits change. None. Prabhupada speaking is impeccable, pure. and for our edification. Anything he told us, individually or in a group, was so that we would get a step closer to becoming pure devotees of Krishna. We would become a step closer to being able to experience Satchidananda, who we really are, that we're not the body. But no, they had to mix in corporate America. We're going to make a corporate ISKCON, not a ISKCON based on individual temples, individually incorporated. Incorporation is required so that you have a legal status in society, in American or any German or Russian or Indian society. You have to incorporate. But that incorporation is not to create a big, powerful group, although that's what people who incorporate things do. They make big, powerful groups. No, the purpose of incorporating ISKCON is so that one temple will be recognized by the state of California or India or Karnataka, wherever you happen to be. That temple will be recognized as ISKCON, even if there's only one person in it.
Jai.
And it's in his apartment.
Shravan, any questions?
No, did Shravan fall asleep?
That's what I was going to say next.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I didn't fall asleep.
I should talk louder. I don't know if I can talk louder. Shravan Prabhu, please. You've got to get yourself a iPhone or a computer.
Yes, yes. Yes,
so
I will.
So, and if you start to fall asleep, we'll remind you, Shravan, don't fall asleep. Like that, you know. Just joking, teasing you. You're a wonderful saintly devotee.
Wow. So
this is the link. Remember, I was talking about these little links we have to start linking together. It's bringing that clarity of Shravanam Kirtanam to what? The Shravanam Kirtanam comes up to the direction of management. How to have, where does it change after that? 12 people signing a certificate that the GBC will be elected by the temple presidents for a 3-year term. Where does that change in the process of Shravanam Kirtanam?
It should never change. That's the way Srila Prabhupada wanted it. That's the way we do it. That's it. Full stop.
That's it. But he did distinguish between what he put in writing and what was said in casual conversation.
Right.
Because at the end, they were all conspiring against Prabhupada. Maybe they all loved Prabhupada. Many of them loved Prabhupada, but they had their own agenda that they wanted to pursue. They wanted to make this thing happen. They wanted to build a big temple. They wanted a lot of devotees in it. Maybe someday they'll become gurus. You know, they had all these plans that they had, so they couldn't hear Prabhupada Shravanam. All they could hear is their own head saying, I want this thing, I want that thing. So that's the downfall. And the guru becomes fallen. The student, I mean, the disciple becomes fallen when he then wants to add or subtract to what is said by the guru.
Yeah, this is very dangerous. Adding and subtracting. I've noticed over my 10 years, I mean, it's crazy. It's a lot of adding, subtracting.
It's become the basis of ISKCON management.
Right, adding and subtracting.
When I say management, it means I manage you, you manage me, right? Yeah, and we manage him. And
right.
So when that management is going on, then we lose all connection with our spiritual master who we are supposedly representing.
Right.
Oh, I represent him in my own way, with my own words and my own thoughts, my own feelings. Wait a minute. Aren't you a Malacha that just recently joined the movement, say 10 years ago? And you think you're a big shot now? How are you just a big shot after 10 years of after you were smoking dope and eating meat 10 years ago, and now you're a big shot and you can think very well? Why don't you simply surrender to your spiritual master?
Jai.
add and subtract.
Somebody posted that every saint has a past. Every saint has a past. Every sinner has a future.
What sort of thing has a
They're
past?
trying to justify that all these gurus, they were sinners before, but now they are saints because they have a past. I said, Prabhupada doesn't have a past. Anyway.
He was a pure devotee from birth. If you study his life, he's doing Rath Yatras at the age of 4 or 5.
Nitya Siddha.
Yeah. So that's the thing, you know. I mean, anybody who came and became Prabhupada's disciple, bless you, congratulations. I worship you. I offer my obeisances. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swamine Sitamane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prasad. But the minute you become guru, then you are at conflict with the vow you gave as a disciple to follow your spiritual master, not to become a spiritual master. If you want to be a spiritual master, simply quote Prabhupada. That is Prabhupada. Everyone will get Prabhupada from your words. But why do you want to do your own style, your own way, in your own mood? Why? Oh, because that's the way it is in Krishna Loka? Yes, amongst pure devotees, but it's much more intricate than that. There may be variegated moods and variegated identities, everything variegated in Krishna Loka, but it's not based on what you guys are doing. It's based on algorithms, on the transcendental algorithms that combine to make beautiful outcomes in relationship to Lalita, Vishaka, Krishna, and Radha. That is different than you deciding to make ISKCON a material corporation and then make it GBC for life.
Okay, Ronald Prabhu. Banu Prabhu says he's not able to get in.
What?
Banu Prabhu's not. Let me send him a message then to invite him.
Okay,
The meeting is still.
you.
No problem.
I don't understand.
Banu Prabhu is not able to join.
Banu Prabhu, he got kicked out somehow, and then he's not able to get in.
Oh, he's trying to get back in. Can't he just go to the link again?
Let me see. Let me send him a link.
Not letting in because the host blocked him or something like that.
Oh, I didn't block him. Let me give him a link.
Is that likely or possible?
Maybe when I was blocking all the nonsense people, I blocked him too. Let's see.
Know. Well, let's get him back on. It should be easy.
Which nonsense people is coming?
Oh, we had a couple.
Really?
Oh, nonsense people?
No, we had some nonsense people, Nara Narayan Prabhu. Right?
Well, I'm a nonsense person.
No, I mean, the putas. We had the
putas. Yeah, well, is there any way to filter them out?
No, if it's open invitation, I don't think we can filter them out. So we'll require
a password. Filter them out. But as they struggle to become dominant, they will learn how to surrender gradually. But let's keep going. How do we get Banu back? That's the main thing.
Let me see. Hold on 1 second. You are unable to rejoin because you're removed by the host. Okay. Email.
Well, you're the host.
Yeah, I guess I removed him accidentally because.
Can you? I don't know what the etiquette is on Twitter. Not Twitter, on YouTube. But can you? Once a person's been removed, can they be reinstated, or is it permanent?
Okay, well, let me try. I'll end the meeting and start it over, so Bhanu can join, Prabhu. Okay.
We'll all start over.
Yeah, we'll start over because.
Should I stay where I am, or should I go back to the link?
You go back to the email. I'll send you a new email because we've been talking for some time now. So I'll end it here and start another session.
Sounds perfect.
Jai Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.